Hello and welcome to everyone. Today our guest is MMA fighter Tyler Diamond. Tyler, thank you so much for accepting the interview invitation. What can you say about yourself in general?
I'm not just an MMA fighter. In fact, I like a lot of things outside of fighting a lot more. I love to hunt. I love the outdoors. And, I just love my family and doing anything that involves the outdoors with them.
That's excellent. In general, how would you describe your fighting style?
I'd say fast-paced, a lot of pressure, and exciting. I don't really like to hang back. I like to get in there and get after it. And at some points, that's actually been a fault of mine. But, man, there for a long time in a lot of my fights, it was like no matter what I did, I couldn't get tired. I couldn't find that threshold. And unfortunately, I did one time and lost. But I just love pushing the pace. And to me, it's like 15 minutes is a long time. But I want to be like dead after that 15 minutes is over. So I try and use every ounce of everything I got.
This was your first martial art?
Wrestling. I started wrestling as a young kid, and then wrestled up through high school and college. And so the next thing for me was to transition into MMA.
Outstanding. Do you have favorite strike?
Yeah, I mean, my right hand, I've dropped a lot of people with my right hand. So I have a really good hook too. So I use my jab and hooks really effectively to set up my cross, and I've dropped a lot of people with it. So that's been the money shot for me so far.
Well, do you have a money submission?
Man, whatever one works. But I'm a chokes guy. You know, I don't really like being on bottom. So although I got pretty good defense on bottom and good submissions, I like being on top. So I like looking for ways of setting up my chokes. And recently, I've really been invested in the lower half of the body. I've been doing a lot of ankle lock and knee bar stuff, but won't ever really be a go-to of mine fighting. It's just, man, you're really exposed. But I've really been trying to up that part of my game recently.
Outstanding. Who are your coaches and sparring partners at the moment?
Yeah, so I'm in a weird spot right now. I haven't been to my Team Alpha Male, in a long time. The reason being is I moved actually an hour and a half up north to be with my wife and my new baby. And so I've just been training locally up here with a couple good fighters. One of them name being Josh Hinkle, who used to fight for a long time. And he's been holding mitts for me quite a bit and rolling with me. And I've been going over and getting jiu-jitsu rolls with a guy named Brandon Rossetti. But when I'm at Team Alpha Male, which I should be going there fairly consistently here in about a week because I am starting fight camp again. But man, there's too many guys to name down there. It's incredible. The resources we have is just unending, and there's just so many good guys. So that's where I need to be if I really want to be successful and reach the top.
Can you at least please name coaches?
Oh yeah, my coaches. So gosh dang, same thing. There's a lot of them, but as of right now, my main coach is Josh Hinkle. But when I'm down at Team Alpha Male, man, a plethora of coaches. Uriah Faber, obviously, Joey Rodriguez, Chris Holdsworth, Danny Castillo, Michael Malott. I got another two coaches that are kind of off-site, Felipe Baragio, and then James Drekas. So I have no shortage of guys looking after me. It's awesome.
That's outstanding. Do you have a nickname?
I don't have a nickname. Nothing's ever stuck, and my name's Tyler Diamond, and that in itself, everyone's like, is that like a alter ego like name? Like, what is that? And I'm like, no, that's my real name. So I've never gotten anything that stuck, but you know, if someone comes up with something catchy and it catches on, then I'll roll with it. But up to this point, I don't have anything.
Well, actually, I've heard many people monicking themselves the Diamond, for example. You know,
Yep.
one favorite famous UFC fighter, so many people think wrongly, I guess. I don't know. What can you say about your first amateur fight?
Wow. So this is something that not a lot of people like, but my first amateur fight was weird. I went up to corner a buddy, and they end up needing a fighter to fill in. And I had just got done eating a big old hamburger and fries because I wasn't planning on fighting, anything like that. And the promoter came up to my friend and was like, hey, I saw that you have a friend that has cauliflower ears. Like, does he want to fight? And my friend, without telling me, was like, yeah, he'll fight. So then he comes up to me and he's like, hey, man, you're fighting tonight. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, no, I'm not. He's like, yes, you are. I was 18 years old. And he's like, yeah, man, you're fighting that guy over there. And there's just like little jacked 37-year-old man. And I was just a kid. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Like, I'm so full. I don't feel good. And I'm like, I don't have anything. He's like, yeah, just wear the shorts that you're in, man. And I'll go get you some gloves and a cup. So I borrowed somebody's cup that had fought right before me. I put it in upside down. I had a mouthpiece that wasn't even boiled to my mouth. And the same thing. Someone fought, and then they took off their gloves, and I put them on. Didn't even wrap them or anything. But I ended up just molly-whopping this guy because he was just going after, like, knee bars and leg locks on me. And I just really stood my ground and teed off on the guy, and they ended up calling it after the first round. He was just his face was too swollen for an amateur fight. They weren't going to let it continue. So kind of crazy, weird story for me.
What, in amateur fight, if you're swollen, they stop the fight, or what are the rules?
So it's much like pro fights, but he was so swollen after 3 minutes that like another punch or two and everything would have burst on his face. Like he was like, it was like beyond normal swelling. Like I think I probably fractured some of his facial bones because it swelled so fast and got purple so quick that as amateurs they don't let you take as much damage, but even in a pro fight they may have stopped it because it was really bad. Like I got some of the hardest punches I've ever punched a human being in that fight.
Yeah, I understand you. Who was your toughest amateur opponent?
My toughest amateur opponent was this guy actually pretty close to my area named Ashton Pierce. He ended up accumulating a bunch of injuries, so he doesn't fight as a pro anymore. But I actually lost. I mean, I still think to this day it was a BS decision because I was on top of the guy the whole time. But the judges actually gave it to him. It was my only amateur loss. I was actually 7-1. And he was my toughest fight just because he actually like fought me and wasn't like he tried taking the fight to me. I mean, it didn't. I still took him down at will and still kind of controlled him on the feet and this and that. But he was definitely one of the toughest guys. Like he had no fear, and that was probably one of his greatest attributes.
That's really excellent. Your first professional fight was a 9-second knockout, so it probably speaks about the power of your punch. Was it a surprising punch? Was it a feint punch? What it was?
You know what it was I couldn't get anyone to fight for my pro debut. Like it was just weird timing. There wasn't many shows going on, and like a lot of people didn't want to fight me as a pro debut guy. So I ended up fighting for this shitty organization called Gladiator Challenge. And I literally fought, I think, one of the guys that sets up the cage. And I think they just give him like $100 and say, here you go. And I knew that going in. And I was like, and the guy just looked terrified. And he was bigger than me. They didn't have him weigh in. He was like 170 something pounds. And I weighed in at 145. But he was huge. And I just saw that he was a little freaked out, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go over there and overhand the fuck out of this guy. So I just punched him as hard as I could. He was on wobbly legs, then it actually took a second follow-up one, and donezo.
How did your second professional fight go?
My second fight was another guy who, he had a couple pro wins, but he wasn't that great. I think he worked during the day and trained after work. Like, you know, he wasn't like a full-time fighter or anything. And I got to display my stand-up a little bit. Like I stood and traded with him for a couple minutes, and then I eventually took him down and just pounded the guy out with elbows. And then progressively from there, every fight just got harder and harder.
How did you defeat Tyrone Henderson? This is your fourth fight.
Yeah. So Tyrone was super tough. That guy, he's one of those guys that He's way tougher than his record shows. Like, if you look the guy up on YouTube, he has, like, highlight reel submissions. Like, he's actually a super dangerous guy. If he was with the right team, I think he could really make some good strides in the sport. But it was a tough fight. I controlled the whole thing, but he just hung tough the whole time. And then in the third round, I could really tell that he was breaking. And I ended up hitting him with a really good elbow that just sliced him open. And from there, I just kept punching that spot. And it just became too much, so the ref stepped in.
What do you think about Cody Walker as the opponent?
Cody Walker, like, it was hella weird. Like, I had watched him his fights, and he was hella squirrely, and I'm like, damn, this guy's squirrely, and he's taller than hell. Like, he was 6'2", I'm 5'7", so I felt like I was fighting a skyscraper. So it was like an awkward fight. Like, looking back, I should have finished the guy, and I had plenty of opportunities. Like, I almost had him in an arm bar. Like, I should have finished him on the feet, but, like, he was the fight. It was like the first guy that I fought that literally, he felt like he was a foot taller than me. I mean, he wasn't, but he was so tall. But yeah, he was just like awkward. But again, it was a good win for me at the time.
I was actually thinking that Bulldog choke is your money submission. Looking back at the fight against Emilio Chavez, so how did you catch him into a Bulldog choke? It's not an easy choke to catch.
No, it's not, but I don't know what it is. I catch a lot of people in that. Like, I think that a lot of people get thrown off guard, and they think that you're not going to try and choke them until you get a hook in, but you don't have to have a hook in to get a choke, you know? So all the time, I'll just bait people all the time, like from when I'm on their back and I'm on in like kind of side control, like I'll just control that opposite wrist. And if they show me any sign of that, having the head up and neck exposed, like, it's mine and it's game over. I don't need any hooks.
Yeah, I was just wondering why they called that choke a Bulldog choke. It's pretty much, it's pretty much very hard to set up.
Yeah, it's just like a schoolyard bully choke is really what it is, you know. But if you get good at it, it's super effective. And so I catch a lot of people in it, and a lot of high level guys. So, which is surprising. Some people are like, how the hell do you get that on, black belts and this and that? But I don't know. I just got a way of setting it up, man. It works for me.
Well, yeah, majority of fighters I interviewed, they just say, but it's very easy to defend. Just do this and you're going to defend, basically. Yeah. But if you're a master of it, I would like to hear your side of the story.
Yeah, well, everyone thinks certain things are easy to defend until they go with someone who's really freaking good, like next level at it, like I am. And, dude, punches open up everything, like a lot of people get stuck in the mindset on top of like just hunting for submissions, but punches change everything. Like, you can go with one of the best grapplers in the world, but you start punching them in the face and things will open up. So that's just one of my tips for other fighters out there is it's always position before submission, but you can't forget about those strikes. They really open up all your submissions.
What can you say about your TUF 27 run?
I was super focused. I was super serious. Like, I came there to win the show. I was 100% confident I would win the show. I was almost overconfident, like I had 2 fights in 6 days. I was the only guy who fought in that short of a span. And so I had 2 back-to-back weight cuts, which was kind of hard. And then when I fought Jay, I knew he was tough and I knew he was going to give me a tough fight. But in my eyes, I was like, I want to finish Jay. I want to finish it excitingly. I don't just want to win by decision. Because I figured, I know I can win by decision, but I want to finish this guy. Like, he's super tough. He's never been finished. I want to finish him. I don't want to finish him excitingly. So it was the wrong mindset to have, though, because it ended up costing me the fight. If I would have just went out there and just kind of fought and not really cared about my performance and just fought and put all the outside noise aside, I think 90 out of 100 times I beat the guy. But that was his night, and he fought amazingly well, and he deserved to beat me that day.
What can you say about your last fight?
My last fight was short-lived. So I was supposed to fight for the LFA title, and LFA had its TV deal dropped like 3 weeks before my fight. And I didn't think that was a good sign, because if they weren't on TV, they don't make money just off ticket sales. So I'm like, dang, I wonder what's going to happen here. So shortly, like a week and a half before the show, they told me, hey, the event's canceled. So at that point, I was scrambling to look for a fight anywhere. There just so happened to be an event in my hometown. So I hit up the promoter, and I said, hey, man, you know that if you put me on the show, you'll make a lot of money being in my hometown. So if you find me an opponent with a winning record, like a good winning record, who's tough, I'll fight him. So he found a guy who ain't scared to fight anybody. He's tough. I mean, I was confident I was going to beat him, and I finished him faster than anyone's ever finished him. He throws naked leg kicks without setting it up, and I knew he did that. And he tried doing it to me, and I made him pay, and put him on his butt and kind of dazed him and choked him out. So short fight. It was only about 30 seconds.
You fought at LFA, right? And what do you generally think about LFA, about the promotion, about the potentials, about the springboards and such things?
I think LFA is the best platform if you want to get to the big show earlier. That was the only drawback of my career, is that even though I was 9-0 before I went on Tough, I wasn't really I didn't have that much exposure because I was fighting semi-locally. LFA wasn't even really a thing. It was like RFA, and I wasn't interested because I could make more money locally, like a lot more than I could have ever fighting for them. But in this day and age now, you have to fight for LFA if you want to get for the big show. I feel like it's the route to go. It gets you a lot of exposure, good, tough fights before you get to the big show. So they're a top-notch promotion. I was impressed about everything that they did.
So you said that your future plan is to go to Alpha Male and to visit the training camp. Okay. Do you have some plans for the upcoming fight, or you're still thinking, or how's the situation at the moment?
So yeah, my situation's a little different now that I live up here. But what I'll probably do is I'll probably travel down there on Mondays, train on Mondays, stay the night on Tuesday, or stay the night and then train on Tuesday, and then come back up for like a midweek break, and then go back down for Thursday, Friday type of thing. I still got to figure out my schedule, but I'll be down there as much as I possibly can, because like I kind of hinted at earlier, if I want to be successful, if I want to win the PFL tournament and make a bunch of money this year, I have to be pushed every single day by people that are better than me. So I got to go down there, and I got to get that work in.
That's excellent. That's really, really excellent. So you will meet the greatest guys in the world. So it has to be good. It simply has to be good. Would you like to greet someone? Maybe to give a shout out to someone, or maybe to mention something we forgot to mention in this interview?
Not necessarily. I mean, whenever I do these and I do get the spotlight, I love to shout out my hometown of Orville. Not a lot going there as far as kids and reaching their potential, but that's everywhere, right? It's not just my hometown, but I love the fact that what I can do is show kids in my town that, hey, you don't have to follow the status quo. You can become you can become whatever you want. You can do whatever you want as long as you work hard and diligently at it. So I love spreading that message, obviously. And a lot of people from Orville, I feel like we're counted out because, I don't know, we just got like a stigma. Like, people look down on us because we're from my town, and it's really unfortunate, to be honest. But it's crazy, we can all rise and better our situation as long as you work hard and put your mind to it. And I love that about this country.
Excellent. Really excellent. I will put the video online tomorrow. I will send you a message.
Awesome.
Like about this time tomorrow, it will be online. Does it work okay for you?
No, that's great.
All right. Thank you so much, Tyler. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Thank you, brother. Talk soon.